I think one choice is be caught up in the maelstrom and attempt to trade your way out of it by slavish devotion to the news of the day and attempting to predict what the central bank will do, and then try to figure out whether or not this is a good entry point or not a good entry point. And that's a recipe for anxiety, especially trying to pick the bottom and pick the top.
Welcome to Dream Richer. There's a common question that most new investors of Bitcoin always have on mind. What's the question? Well, who is Satoshi Nakamoto and who made Bitcoin? The first Bitcoin was mined on January 3, 2009 by someone known as Satoshi Nakamoto. Now, Satoshi Nakamoto is recognized as the pseudonym of the person or group of people who created Bitcoin. The invisible figure or figures, whose technological creation has influenced the world, however, cannot be traced or found. Although Nakamoto remains a mysterious figure, his goal for creating cryptocurrency, in itself, was never a mystery. Simply put, he created it to take financial control back from financial elites, giving ordinary people a chance to take part in a decentralized financial system. This is why Bitcoin remains an open source, meaning that no one has the power to own or control it in its entirety. Its design is public, and it is open for anyone to participate. Bitcoin was a response to the Great Financial Crisis, which showed that even the world's biggest banks can fail. It highlighted the fragility of the modern financial system and called for the decentralization of financial transactions. By the end of this video, Michael Saylor unravels the mystery of Satoshi and why it's a good thing that he disappeared. If you find the video helpful, then don't forget to subscribe. Let's get right into it.
You want to own something very scarce and desirable. So if you look at the crypto universe, the idea of crypto is to have some kind of property that's in lieu of a currency or in lieu of a commodity. There's 19,920 cryptos, according to CoinMarketCap. One of them amounts to about half of that market cap. That's Bitcoin. So there's one thing that had a fair distribution, an ethical distribution. It's been deemed universally as a commodity. There is no issuer. There's no management team. Satoshi's gone. The protocol was set at version 0.1, not change, right? 21 million, 1 megabyte block size, 10 minutes a block. The mining rewards were set for until the year 2140. Everything is set for the next 120 years as of now, 13 years later. As Chair Gensler would say, a commodity is something without an issuer. There's no issuer of gold or corn or soybeans or timber or Bitcoin to a commodity, or in this case, Bitcoin is better than a commodity. It has the legal, ethical standing of a commodity, no issuer. It's universally useful, right? But it is a scarcity because there's only 21 million. And if you look at my Twitter feed today, I posted an interesting video of the Uganda gold find, where they found enough gold ore in Uganda to create 330,000 tons of gold, which means it would not triple, but 2.5, almost triple the gold supply, or the supply of gold that we have found since the beginning of time on this earth. Gold's the king commodity, and it's the highest stock to flow, but it's still just a commodity, and it's infinite. You can make more in human ingenuity, and given a high enough price, or if I increase the price by a factor of 10, you get a lot of incentive to turn that ore into refined gold. And the same is the problem with oil, natural gas, soybeans, corn, steel, lumber, the like, even real estate. Real estate's valued based on the square foot. And so you got 1 million square feet of commercial real estate. How scarce is that? Well, it's scarce until I create 10 million more square feet of commercial real estate, and it's less scarce.
Bitcoin was born after the subprime mortgage crisis of 2008, where liquidity in global financial markets was significantly affected by the housing market collapse. The crisis inspired the creation of Bitcoin, a fully functional form of digital currency, based on a distributed ledger technology called the blockchain. On April 23, 2011, Satoshi sent his last email saying, "I have moved on to other things, and that the cryptocurrency's future was in good hands. Since then, there has been no communication from Nakamoto's previously known email addresses. Throughout Bitcoin's long history, nothing has been more controversial than the identity of its founder. Numerous speculations have surrounded Nakamoto's identity. Some believe it could be Dorian Nakamoto, while others believe it could be President Putin or a woman disguised as a man.
So I was saying that the macroeconomic winds are blowing, and if you're an investor, you just have to decide how you're going to deal with it. And I think one choice is be caught up in the maelstrom and attempt to trade your way out of it by slavish devotion to the news of the day and attempting to predict what the central bank will do, and then try to figure out whether or not this is a good entry point or not a good entry point. And that's a recipe for anxiety, especially trying to pick the bottom and pick the top. And yeah, I think it's the two thoughts. One, a rational strategy is dollar cost averaging into scarce, desirable assets that someone that's more affluent and more informed than you will want to buy from you in a decade. If I was trying to come up with a plan to manage through the chaos, I don't know that I could time the market. I think that I would just kind of dollar cost average my cash flows into a portfolio of property that was scarce, that was desirable, that would hold its value. And with the caveat that I need to be able to afford to maintain it. So if I could buy high quality property that I can afford to maintain for a decade, then as cash flows arrive, I would just allocate accordingly. And if you like Bitcoin, then Bitcoin, just dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin is a similar thing to that.
It's clear from Michael Saylor's explanation that you need to invest in a reliable, safe commodity that cannot be inflated. When you look at real estate, gold, timber, and silver, all these commodities can always be made in more quantities. Hence, they are not scarce. Bitcoin, on the other hand, is scarce and capped at 21 million coins. We may never know who Satoshi Nakamoto was. However, he paved the way for cryptocurrency to evolve and develop to respond to the 2008 crisis, creating an alternative currency system. Since its inception in 2009, no hacker has managed to infiltrate it. Bitcoin also remains relevant years after it was introduced by Nakamoto. Large corporations and investors are becoming increasingly aware of its value and potential. What do you think the future holds for Bitcoin? Let us know in comments below. To learn more about the latest crypto news, watch these videos here.